Okay, well, I'll do a quick little intro and then I'll just let y'all take it away. So welcome back or welcome for the first time. If you are tuning in to see what are these demos about, who are these artists I'm supposed to be meeting? Well, we are launching the Blocks on Lock program, our virtual arts program, pandemic arts, however you want to refer to it. Basically, it's just a way for us to encourage our young people and even our families, because I know they like to watch and participate in some ways too. Just encourage them to stay connected, but also to stay protected as well, because we want to protect our circles. We really want to make sure that while we're riding out this pandemic, that folks are able to be safe but also still be engaged in some creativity and some social connectivity that's safe for them, right? So I'm Rena Golden, and I'm gonna step away. I'm just gonna step away and let the instructors take it away from here.
Make sure y'all mute yourselves too. Just want to let y'all know.
What's up, Andy?
What's going on? How are you?
Yeah, we are.
Hello out there in the world. Well, I'll start. My name is Anderson Allen, aka Poetically Undefined. Some of y'all may know me by that. I'm a spoken word artist, slam poet, and actor. I've been doing poetry. I've been doing spoken word and slam professionally now for, this will be my 5th year going in. I got started off in the slam circuit when I joined Rock Bottom Slam Team back in 2014. And it literally just, that's where my whole, just artistic journey really began. And I will be sharing some work with y'all too, so y'all can get a little taste of that. But just to give you a little, hold up, I'm talking too much. Before I keep going and not let Nequa get in, I do want to say that my pronouns are he, him, his. And before we actually get into what spoken word is and all of that, I'm gonna pass it over to Nequa so she can let y'all know who she is.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I am Nequa Profacy. I'm a 29-year-old spoken word artist. I've been doing slam poetry and performance poetry for about 15 years now. I originally started in high school as a slam poet and went on to compete. Rena was actually my slam coach. So shout out to everyone who was involved in Slam High about 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. And then I went on, and I was actually on Rock Bottom Slam Team for a little bit. And then I also just went ahead and continued on and performed a little bit of everywhere. Poetry is always my heart, my love, my passion. And I mean, during this time, it definitely is important to stay creative and just to, maintain our mental health. I really like to just hit that nail on the head, just make sure that we maintain our mental health. And a part of that for me is to write poetry and to be creative and to construct this stuff. So yeah, it's very exciting. I'm glad to have everybody with us, whether they're watching, whether you guys are writing, here to explore. We do want you guys to go to tell us your pronouns because we want to be respectful. Mine, I am her, she, they is fine. But I accept female pronouns. So please feel free to correct us if we do get them wrong, or if we are, just absent-minded about it. We do try to respect you guys when it comes to that for sure. So we are going to get into some poetry, right, Anders?
Yes, we are. So for all of y'all who probably know what spoken word is, or don't know what spoken word is, I'm just gonna reiterate it real quick. Spoken word is, really what happens when we take the poem, like off the page and we start constructing, like some of those things that are happening on the paper, like in terms of literary elements, like alliteration, rhyme, we start thinking about cadence and all those different things, how we use all those elements to start constructing a performance. around, you know, like the words that are actually that you are writing or transcribing. And if Nequa wants to jump in and say a little bit, add on to anything that I just said, she can definitely do that.
Yeah, there's definitely different levels of poetry. But we understand that everybody might not feel comfortable. We do encourage you guys to share your work here. This is a creative environment, and it's definitely the atmosphere to be doing it. So understand that this is a safe space as an artist, as a person, but especially as an artist, to be able to share your work, to get feedback from your peers, from your mentors here. Anderson and I will be writing as well, because it's an excellent opportunity for us to learn from each other, and as well learn from you guys as well. So there are different styles of poetry, and we definitely want you guys to be able to explore this style if you haven't before, because a lot of people get intimidated by spoken word poetry. And once you really start, you're going to find it's really addicting, it's really releasing, it's really powerful. So we hope that you guys find your own journey while we go along this whole path.
And before I start, I do want to piggyback off that last little bit when Nequa just said, like, mention that journey. Like, so much of the writing process and not just spoken word, it's about you. You know, like, it's really about you connecting with your voice and just working from a real authentic place within yourself, you know, speaking your truth, living that however you see fit, you know. And we just want to give y'all the tools to do that and some pointers. That said, I'm gonna start off with a little piece, get us going. And this poem is entitled Undeniably Wondrous. Some of y'all know this, but here we go. You cannot silence the God in my hands. They culminate a joy so contagious, the gray skies slide left and right to reveal a sun two-stepping its way to the rhythm of my rising wonder. We smile at each other in mutual luminescence. The trees dab and the winds fall subtle as my locks curl in bass clefs, or secrete hints of coconut oil and shea butter. Rhapsody, rapture. My life, my life, my life, my life, flowered in the emotions of a lock-filled world. I got the keys that makes the soul go sway and command attention. The world is in awe and the act it bears witness to. Black boy bearded in harmony with nature in all of her splendor. We have an understanding that nobody needs to understand. We be Lackawanna blues into the scent of mama's crisp butter biscuit heart of gold. She be tenderness practitioner, swinging a Luther, whisking that beat like she could remember the time that she dated a bad boy. Oh, how she adored Pops being a smooth criminal. Oh, how he adored the innocent guys of Dirty Diana. I know they fell in sync at first eye, and the love came after crossfade and funk and psychedelics to a disco inside of solo cups at a house party. As the bass pulsed with the soles of their feet, they turned their drinks upright. Knees convulsed and flatlined under the spell of hip hop. Hearts pacing rhythmically to the sweetest taboo. Baby, I hope you want me the way that I want you. There are times when you need someone, I will be by your side. I'm reminiscing on the times before my time that led to my conception. How Ma and Pop split before they came back together. How the force was so great the night they made love. You could have mistaken the force that divided me and my brother as nuclear fission. Mama's womb was nursing twin flames with fire and desire. Black Thought and Tupac. Malcolm's compassion and Martin's tenacity. We be the original Huey and Riley. Amalgamation of grit and magic. Young, brilliant, militant, super fly, super why? Because we superstars, superseding superstition, sign sealed, delivered, impasse with the math warriors on a mission to carve a path of light out of the shadows that we called home. I know my parents and ancestors came from a dark place, but you can't gel the rhythm of a free people who keep on keeping on. What's the world without Black congregation, Black life inventing, Black innovation, Black blues singing spirituals of Black tribulation? After the pain comes Black liberation. We were destined for greatness. It is written in the genes of our DNA. I've been tapping God's phone so she knows that I've been listening to the conversations that she's had on my bloodline. Hey, yo, God. Hello, God. Can I talk to you real quick, bro? Said, I'm in your business for vision. This Black man flying nimbus and vicious, so I call you back. Because when it's all said and done, love will bring us back to the place where it all started. Some call it the source, but we call it home. Thank you. Energy. No, let me stop.
Love it. That was bomb. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna go into my poem, Glow, my signature poem. So, you know the ground's supposed to glow when you walk, girl. The devil's supposed to tremble when you talk. See you bad, right? So they supposed to be mad, right? Because ain't no lights in defeat. So you just keep marching left and right with your feet. Even if you have to mumble your prayers at night, when you sleep, you will glow here. Like fireworks, you be queen. Even if you be hired work, I said you be queen. Always low key, and when you're on the scene, you try not to be seen, but please, if you're gonna be seen, be someone worth seeing. If you're gonna be somebody, be someone worth being. What state of mind you be in? What Pandora station is your heart beating? Let them know that you need not to be reminded of who you be, that since birth you knew that you be queen. I mean, well, don't it seem like you was almost destined to fail? But you see, failure really isn't an option. You just know it all too well. Life ain't always worth living, but the reason you ain't giving is because it's one really good story to tell. Let them know that you're not about being frail. You're not about waiting to exhale or waiting for a night, waiting for someone to treat you right. You're not about waiting for someone to appreciate your mind, waiting for them to not waste your time because they're not even out here trying to save their own life. So that means you fight the fight for yourself, and you see beauty and potential in yourself because no one else will. You got to love yourself. Girls like you, just trying to make your mama proud. I know they look at you when you come around, but it's not every day we see women wearing crowns. Not every day we see women loving ourselves for who we really are. Because when you wake up flawless, baby, that's your first flaw. Let them know that you woke up like this. Yeah, that situations made you tough like this. That you know all too well of broken hearts and yearning love. Love so far gone is burning that you keep some things to yourself. That you may have cried yourself to sleep last night, but today you rose within. And may I say, your glow up was amazing. I'm glad you made it. But tell me, why you look like that? Oh, I get it. You ain't expect for people to look like that. I know that you expected more. Thought that you would be worth waiting around for, because now the ground glow where you go, girl. So let them know. Let them know what they missed out on. That you be queen, you be paradox, you be goddess, you be light, you be life birthing life, that you be free, unapologetically in love with your own reflection, using God as your protection, that you be paradise as much as possible. You know, you're the hardest to love, but a love worth working for. You're a woman worth waiting for and a woman worth praying for. So, oh, let's take an ode to the nights that we spend alone in our own space, in our own home, to the nights we sit and the nights we sit and soak. Because you know, in order to glow, you don't wait for the light at the end. You be the light within your tunnel. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Energy, like Anderson said. That's what we need. I see y'all. That's exactly what I love. And we love to see that energy, that feedback. So I love the energy we're seeing so far.
I'm gonna need you to send that my way
Energy.
so I can show my mother that. You know, she need that too as well.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love this. This is so amazing. I love all the bonding happening right now.
It is amazing.
Bonding over art. Love that.
That just life, energy, like I said, yes. And that's really you know, like during this virtual arts program that we doing, like we definitely want y'all to connect with yourself, you know, like, and conjure some goodness, conjure some joy, conjure whatever you need right now, like during this time, so you can get through. One of the things that I really want to encourage and inspire you to do, and this is something we're going to be building on, is a little colloquialism that I use in my workshops, and it's where you at. And it's really just you. And I want you to do this in a way, you know, like me, for example, right now, I'm in the Northwest, you know, side of town, repping my hood, you know, Dewey Ave, even though I'm really repping, if you can see it, the Avenue. I'm really repping the Avenue all day, every day. 25/8, you know, that's what I'm repping. But encouraging you to do that, but also just honor where you really are, you know, like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you know, so you can create some authenticity and dig deep into your own truth. So part of what we'll be doing is exploring that during this time and building on where you at and really ultimately asking, where do you want to be? You know, like, where do you want to go? Because the possibilities for that in your own writing process, but even in life itself, is endless, it's infinite. So we just want to pull you into that space so y'all can create. Yeah.
And I think that's all we're here to do as well. I love showing that. My fault. I love that y'all showing that creativity ain't limited to anything. Poetry is a way to get your heart out, and it's something special. I feel like it's gonna be real something special.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Shy. Absolutely. Um, Nico, I don't know if it was anything you wanted to say or add before we start getting some questions rolling in here. If anybody has any questions or comments they want to add. Nico's muted.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say, like, piggyback off what Anderson said. This is a moment that we're getting together now, but this is something that can change the rest of your writing career. So definitely dive into it, challenge yourselves. And like Anderson said, we do want to do the where you at. So I think that that's a really good thing, because we're all in the same spot, but we're going through different things, even though we're going through the same things. So it'll be good. We'll have a lot of opportunity to get our writing to another level, but also take the opportunity to get to know each other on a different level, yourselves on a different level, and just take advantage of the time all together. So yeah, do you guys have any questions for us?
KK had a question for you.
KK.
Got a question for both of y'all. Y'all know how this is. So based off of a conversation that I think our AV group had, what was this, like a month ago? Dang, a month ago? Dang. We were talking about how the poet versus the audience. So like the poet knows how they were supposed to, or no, they know how the feeling is because they were the one who wrote it. So if I write a poem, I know what I feel during that poem. I know what is like the main focus of that poem. But then another person, or an audience, if you will, can take that and interpret it as something completely different. It doesn't have to be bad, it doesn't have to be good. But what I'm saying is, with poems, with writing, raps, songs, anything, right? Do you or do you not believe that you'll get more out of the poem if you include your own passion into it, or if you go based off of what other people want you to think, or what other people want you to write it as?
So boom, I think that you should always follow your passion, because there's somebody out there that's waiting to hear your story. There's somebody out there that's waiting to connect with it. Somebody out there waiting to hear that authenticity of it. Now, there is measures that you can go on a different route. Like, I have this poem that's called To My Son. And when I perform this poem, now I have no kids. I've had people be upset when they find out I don't have no children. They're like, how can you write this poem to my son and you don't have a son? But as an artist, I have every right to do that. For my future, I can do that. For somebody else, I can do that. You know, like, as an artist, we have so many rights to be able to, like, we have these unspoken, unwritten rights. So it's up to you how you choose to, because people are going to come to you and ask you to write poems for them all the time. That's a poet thing. So you have to understand, like, the integrity of it, like what you're writing for. And if you feel like you can't, like, for me, I feel like if you can't fit in that spot, but you're trying to write for it, then you need to find a passion behind what you're trying to write for. So.
Okay, so for me, when I think about that question, I kind of go back to what I wanted what my intention was, you know, like when I first started writing. And when I first started writing, I used to say to myself, yo, I want people to hear me. I want to be heard. And you hear a lot of like artists in general say that. You hear a lot of people say that, you know, like I want to be heard. And to me, when you actually think about what that means and give that some real thought, it's like, yeah, you somebody can hear you, but like, does that mean that you're being engaged? You know, like, and then when I really thought about like what I wanted, I didn't want people to hear me. I wanted people to listen to me. You know, so like that just even changed the way how I wrote, you know, like how I came into my own self, you know, like, and finding like the heart of like the poem. And when you find the heart of the poem, like you really have to like just give that poem some, you know, like bones and flesh, you know, like build on that, you know, like you can't it's not always what you want it to be, you know, like, and I feel like that's even, you know, like kind of the fine line that you dance as an artist, you know, like when the poem actually, what does the poem want versus what you want, you know, like what does the poem need versus what you actually need, you know, like, but you have to understand that there's a real relationship there happening. And when you able to establish that, like with your craft, I feel like you can, like y'all both grow together, you know, like it's a real relationship. But yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Any other questions?
Anything else?
I do have one more question.
Okay.
So what, and once again, this is for both of you. You look at the quote, and I think this is a Dr. Seuss quote. So when you look at the quote, why fit in when you were born to stand out? What message do you guys get from that, or what message do you want to teach to aspiring spoken word poets, or just anyone who's looking for that motivation, looking for that inspiration? What do you get from that?
Why fit in when you can stand out? Individuality is everything. It's everything. And nobody else can be who you are, especially as an artist. And it's nothing to be jealous of. It's nothing to be competitive about. It's just about finding who you are and understanding your own path. So blending in and being a part of like the pack is, you know, one thing. But we have so many unique things that we can celebrate that's unique about us, that are different about us. And a lot of times we look at our differences and we look at them as a bad thing. This is saying look at our differences as a great thing, as a beautiful thing, as something worth being proud about. So even down to your writing style, your lifestyle, you know, how you build friendships, how you love, all of that stuff just defines who you are and it makes you you. So there's no point in being embarrassed about it. And I talk about it a lot, how self-love is one of the hardest things for us to learn. I talk about it a lot. Like it's not a second nature thing, and it should be. And that's one of those posts that kind of piggybacks that says like believe in yourself, encourage yourself, love yourself. So I think that's a really great quote to go by.
It's crazy how like that even ties into the first question that you asked, KK, because I remember when I first started doing slam poetry, like I understood like the construct and what the ultimate objective was is to win. And when I saw what kind of poems you needed to write or what kind of flow people were looking for or what people really wanted to hear, that's what I was writing. You know, like I was writing material like for that to win. But ultimately, like in the grand scheme of it all, thinking about what that meant, it was doing more harm than good to my art. You know, like for me to actually just settle honestly, like in my own creative process or even like in the concepts and ideas that I have, you know, just because I feel like this is the way you have to win. And it wasn't, you know, like the way to win was for me to be me. It was for me to talk and speak from, you know, like my place, you know, like me. And nobody, again, like Nequa was saying, can do that for you, but you. Only you can do that. And that's such a blessing, you know, like that's rich. Like it's so much, that's soil, you know, like that's where your land is, you know, like you work that land and think about what you want to grow there. You know, like that's how I really think about I'm beginning to think about, you know, like my work as an artist, you know, like if I'm a farmer, you know, like what do I want my harvest to read? You know, like
Yes.
And how do I want to feed myself, but how do I want to feed the people? You know, like energy.
Energy.
For real.
Word.
And that's always going to be a challenging thing though, to it may be a challenging thing, I should say, to you know, like kind of want to give the crowd what they want, but also be true to you, you know, like, but you got to find the balance there, you know, like where you're able to honor yourself and, you know, like still grace the people in some way.
Word.
All right, y'all. It's 6:30. And Nequa and I definitely appreciate y'all joining us for this half hour of the poetries, the spoken
Right.
word, and all the brilliance that we will be doing with y'all. If you are interested in signing up, you can go to avenuetheater.org/youth-program. I will drop that link inside the Facebook Live. But definitely tell your friends, tell your mama to get you tell your mama to tell your 13 and up brothers and sisters to come join us. We want to see
It's
all y'all
free.
in here with us, and it's free 99. How
It's
much?
free. Free 99.
Shut up and take my money.
Right.
I'm gonna say, since this is the last one today, KK, can you tell us what made you like what makes you interested in these workshops? This is your second one today. Yes, you. Why don't you tell your peers? Talk to the people. Talk to your peers.
Right.
For me, at first I was thinking about, okay, who am I? Like, what does the general public see me as? I am a girl with a strong voice, nice leadership, you know? And I was like, okay, if I join in these workshops, you know, where can that take me? What can I be? But then, as to the first one, I had some time to reflect in between. Now we're here. I was like, okay, not only am I a young Black girl, I am KK. I am Kayla Gauze. That's who I am. That's who I will always be. That's who people will see me as. And I feel like it's all about how you drive yourself with that mentality. The first webinar, correct, right? The first webinar we had, that was talking about drama, like that's your character. It's you, or is it your character? Let's say I'm playing someone named Julia. Who is Julia? Is Julia goofy like me, or is Julia very serious, very this, very that? How can I portray that? Here it's talking about, okay, how can you portray yourself as who you truly are, who you need to be, who people have for you, not for anyone else but for you. And seeing as how, like Ms. Golden was saying, seeing as how seeing other teens or seeing other people that are like you joining this, that's heartwarming for me. That's like, okay, I'm gonna make some new friends here, and we all gonna have to vibe with each other. And Mr. Anderson was saying earlier that, like, with spoken word, you're taking the words right off the page, like you're bringing it to life. That is such an art. That is such a skill. That is such a good way to live. That I'm speechless.
I know that's right. You about to get every the
Right.
registration hotline about to go crazy. They like, we
Go
want to
ahead,
be
girl.
better. We want to do this. We about to be, yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's the spoken word takeover right now. Well, thank y'all so much for taking the time to give a little demo, give a little bit of yourselves, participate. Also want to shout out Shy Rodriguez. Shaheem is up in the corner up there.
Hey, hey.
Oof.
They say I ain't see me.
representing for the teaching assistants, and just being present and being and I appreciate everybody who's about to be a part of this project. The block's on lock. We done locked down the block, but we are over here in the virtual block now, just just having a good old time. All right. So the next demos are going to be what are we doing? We're doing tomorrow at 4. We're doing tomorrow at 6, and we're doing tomorrow at 8 on Wednesday. Wednesday's a long day for the virtual block. So so tune in to find out all the other arts programs that we're going to be offering virtually, and also visit avenuetheater.org, and then have a look around, because we've got some other great projects that are coming up as well, including some video projects. The block is hot, so we got to do what we can, to really blow up this virtual space. So take a look around at avenuetheater.org, but also make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, but most importantly, Facebook, because that's where we'll be going live from too. So if you feel like you're not sure you want to actually be in a class, I would say you should try it out. You should definitely try it out, like KK said. But if you want to just be someone who wants to watch live, including our family members or those who are too young or too old, well, not too old. You're never too old for art, but just to be in this class, we encourage you to follow along on Facebook Live by following the Avenue Black Box Theater on Facebook. All right, so we out. All right.
Catch y'all later.
See y'all later.
Black.